Hey, happy Tuesday, everyone. It's Val and Diane coming to you live from the Stitchin Post. I'm holding the mic right now, but I'm going to give it to Diane, and then she will be in charge of talking and repeating questions and telling us all about log jamming. So here's Diane.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I got to put it on.
I need help getting it on. I can't function the mask and microphones and hands and...
Okay.
Okay, so today, because we all have scraps, lots and lots of scraps. And here's a perfect example of Jackie's scraps and her pattern, Modern Log Jam. And so today we're going to actually be doing her pattern, Modern Log Jam. See, I set everything up for over here because that's where I thought Val was going to be, so we're going to have to do a little whatever. She's very multi-talented here. So Jackie also made these beautiful quilts on the table as examples of a modern log jam, and you can see they can go very scrappy, they can do kids. She also did one with solids where the half was with the color and half was with white, and that's pretty stunning for a more modern look. Before we get started on the actual putting the squares together, I want to tell you about the products that I use when I make this kind of a quilt. So you got to have your rotary cutter and your ruler, and for this one I like the 12.5-inch square, but I also like the 6.5-inch square because you may decide you want to do 4 small ones to make one big one. You have options here, kids, because we can't just have one size fits all. I also like this rotating cutting mat when I have the squares finished, because when we're all done, we're going to actually put our ruler, where'd my 6-incher go? Right here. This is going to be, there'd be more rounds. But then you can just turn it as you're cutting and you don't have to keep moving these things. Now, the beauty of making these squares is irregular is the best. So no 1/4-inch perfect seams.
You said irregular is the best?
Irregular is the best. So like you'll see strips that are different widths, my kind of thing. Perfection is not my kind of thing. Of course, you have to have scrap bags, and we have many strippy scrap bags. And not only do we have many, they're on sale for half price this week in honor of our quilt week. Also, because there's little pieces involved with this, we have our woolly mats, our little portable irons, and our flatter, which sits right next to our sewing machine. So, sew, turn, press, sew, turn, press. And it just goes so much faster. And I'm all about
Diane,
faster.
tell me why you prefer to use the wool mat. Like,
Yes.
what is it that you're missing in this world if you don't have a wool mat?
Well, I'm going to be very honest and tell you that my entire ironing board is covered in this woolly mat. Because what happens is when you press it, it not only presses the top, but the steam goes into the wool mat and the back presses, and it is so flat. I am not kidding you. And I will let you can come up and actually try the iron. Jackie said she'd be very happy if anybody wanted to come press her squares for her. And there's a little flatter and an iron and a mat. And when you use it, because I'm kind of I have gadgets, but it's like, yeah. But I'll tell you, I covered my whole ironing board in this, so it works, kids. Okay, and then you got to have your scissors. Kai scissors, got a whole bunch of these in stock. We were out for a while, so it's good that we have those. Okay, and then your sewing machine, and that's up to you. Okay, so what we do is we take our strippy scraps, and we put 2 together. And one thing else I will tell you about these bags is we've had Grace, who is probably, there's some seats over here if you want to sit down, who is extraordinary about putting different pieces together. So it's almost like she's done all the work for matchy-matchy for you or whatever. So all these bags go together, all right? So you start out with 2 strips, and they don't even have to be the same width. They can be anything that goes together. Sew a seam, Again, it does not have to be a perfect 1/4" seam. Open it up, press it. This is Jackie's demos thing, so I'm not going to press them open for her. But here's what it looks like pressed. Okay, now look, this one's not the same width. It's okay, because now what you're going to do is you're going to cut this strip into smaller strips. And this is about 2 inches, okay? So you just go down and you cut as many as you can off of that for 2 inches. Then you take...
Does it matter what length you're starting with? We're just starting with any length you have.
Right, pretty much. So like these are going to be different than these guys, if you can see the difference there. Okay, so it's the whole idea. If most of you in here have probably done log cabin type quilts, and that's pretty much what this is. But the beauty of it is that it's wonky, and the wonkier it is, the more fun it is, and it's all about fun. Then you take your next strip and you're going to chain sew those middle squares, right? Then you're going to cut them. Again, no ruler necessary, just take your rotor and go zip, zip, okay? My kind of thing. So here is one that, a whole square where we've started with the 2 smaller pieces together to get our center, okay? And then we go and we've put this piece on and this piece, okay? So we're starting our circle. So now we have, the next one is going to be here. And all of this is in the pattern, so you don't have to memorize it, okay? That's my kind of pattern too.
So would you do these chain stitching then?
Yes, most definitely. Chain stitch is the only way to go in my book. So now the next one goes across the top, okay? And then here we are again on the opposite side. And then here we go again on this side. So then we're going to go doot, doot, doot. And you just keep going as many times as you want.
Until you get to like whatever size block you're doing?
Correct. Or you know, maybe maybe you want 12.5-inch block. Maybe you want 4 6.5 that then you sew together again. Because again, you're going to be, when you're all done with the size square you want, then you're going to put it on your rotating mat and you're going to square it up with this. And if you'll notice in this quilt,
Yeah, let's lift that up.
well, let's see. Well, any of them actually. I'll take this one because the solids are a little easy to see. You'll notice that they're not perfectly the same width, right? They're just kind of all wonky. Like, look at this purple here. And I think what happens, in fact, I don't think, I know, when you go to square it up, obviously this piece went across the whole thing, but when you square it up, then you're going to get this little sliver, okay?
Improv.
Right?
It's like improv.
Right, but look at how stunning this is with the white. And then they quilted it with the multicolored thread.
Oh, too quick.
Sorry.
And then can you step back? A little further, a little further, a little further.
Go to the next room.
Well, I want everybody to see.
I know, right?
There it is.
Okay.
Awesome.
Now, the other thing I want to make sure everybody knows is that all of these beautiful quilts that you see hanging in this room right here are all for sale. And after this week, anything that's left will be online. So if you live in Massachusetts and you see something you want, we're going to have it ready for you. Questions? Pretty easy, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it's kind of cool because we all have scraps.
Right.
And a lot of times our scraps become theme-oriented, and you can collect enough of them
Right.
that you don't feel guilty about the scraps anymore,
Right.
and you can then make a log jam.
And you know what? These make great baby blankets because it doesn't take any time at all. If you just think about, you want to open that one up? If you think about just sitting down and just randomly sewing strips together, it would go so fast. Okay, I'm going to hold this one over here.
Oh, let's see, scrap bags are not available. Scrap bags are not available online at this moment, but you can call us and we can pick colors. I'm coming in close, Diane.
Coming in.
These look like a bunch of Tula scraps.
So one of the nice things too about our strippy scrap bags, say that 3 times fast, is Jackie in the kit room, she lets nothing go to waste. So when a 2-inch strip goes into a strip bag. And I think all of us do the same thing. I know I do. I just don't throw anything away. Yeah. I have several boxes at home that I put things in. Okay, any other questions coming in?
There's a question wants to know where the price list is for these quilts.
Do we have one?
Not yet.
Okay.
We'll make one.
All righty. And you know what? If there's one you see you like, we can tell you.
Yeah,
Or you can,
shop.
or call the shop or email us, or we're all over it.
Yeah, and we will be putting them up online after this.
Right. Okay. Can they?
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. I had an audience. Yay!